Tu San Wei and her colleague Ong Mo Wai are on their way to work in Myanmar's biggest city, Rangoon. On the bus, dressed in T-shirts and traditional longis, they don't look like typical bank workers, but that's what they are. The streets of Rangoon show signs of the political and economic changes that have swept through the country. Until recently, there were barely any cars in this city of 5 million people. Now the bus we're on sits in heavy traffic. Tu San Wei and Ong Mo Wai struggle through these packed streets every day on their way to the impoverished outskirts of the city. Out here, there are fewer signs of Myanmar's economic boom. But in recent years, there's been an increasing flow of foreign money coming into the city. Tu San Wei and Ong Mo Wai want to make sure that some of that money goes to those who really need it. They work for a local non-governmental organisation partnered with Germany's Saving Banks Foundation for International Cooperation. They provide microcredit to small businesses in the city. When we arrive, there are already people queuing up. Most of them are women. Many of them tell me that their husbands are at work. Most of them make their living as street vendors. I sell vegetables, says this woman. I don't have the money to buy enough goods, so I've come here for a loan. To start with, customers can receive 50,000 chat. That's about 45 euros, says Tu San Wei. Every week they have to pay back an instalment. The interest is 2.5%. In addition, they have to save 500 chat per week, about 50 euro cents. After 6 months, if they've paid back the loan, they can take out another one, twice as big. The savings plan is a big part of the program. We have to save money every week, says this facilitator, and we have to get that, as well as the money to repay the loan, from somewhere. Many people in Myanmar live a hand-to-mouth existence and have no experience of saving money. They have no financial protection against unforeseen circumstances. It's the concept of saving money that the Savings Bank Foundation wants to encourage in Myanmar. Sylvia Sturm represents the foundation. She often goes to meet the loan recipients and ensure the process is running smoothly. But there's a problem today. A lot of customers have simply left their savings books there. The recipient should really be here to collect their savings book, she says. We always say, we should be on time and the customer should also be here. That's something we still have to work on. Sylvia Sturm also runs short training sessions with local people. She covers the basics of business and economics to help people improve their businesses and their livelihoods. Sturm says sessions on topics like saving and optimizing a business are something she wants to bring in as a next step. German involvement like this has only been possible since political reforms took place in Myanmar. The government's new microfinance law is the bedrock for the program. The foundation wants to build the capacity of the local NGO so it can operate without outside help. That means that employees like Tu San Wei have to be trained. One of her tasks is to visit the loan recipients to check that the money is being spent lucratively and is having a positive effect. Baby San is a great example of what this kind of loan can do. She runs a small restaurant. It's an important source of income for her family of 5. With the loan, I can buy some supplies and offer people more food, she says. I've increased my turnover by 50%. Tu San Wei is happy. She's planning to grant Baby San another loan. She asks if baby San will be able to make the larger repayments. Yes, she says, it shouldn't be a problem. Baby San shows me her house. At the moment, she lives with her husband's parents. If her business keeps growing with the help of the loans, she hopes to be able to afford her own house one day. Since the end of the military dictatorship 2 years ago, there's been a surge of development in Myanmar. As well as foreign investors, more and more NGOs are setting up here. The end of international sanctions has seen unprecedented amounts of money flowing in. Today, the non-profit sector is the largest source of foreign currency coming into the country. Berke Herzbruch has witnessed the changes. For the last 7 years, she's been working for the aid organisation Malteser International in Myanmar. She's glad about the growing numbers of aid agencies coming to the country. It makes sense, she says. The country is big and the need is still very great, especially in rural areas. NGOs can make a real difference. But many of them are realizing that not everything they want to do is possible. Things happen more slowly. Everything is quite bureaucratic. They need time to get to know the country, the mentality of the people, and how the government functions, what works and what doesn't. I've come 600 kilometers north of Rangoon to the town of Jinangjong in the Irrawaddy Valley. Burmese-born Eric Trutwein runs a small guest house here. He knows the country and the mentality well. He's also lived through the military junta.
Sometimes the police, they will sometimes come drunk at night and ask to open the gate to the guest house, and they always do this to all the people they can hassle to squeeze money out of them. People were like, pray, you do something wrong, they'll find out and they'll squeeze money out of you. But now no more. Now that's what I mean, which is good. This democratization has changed all that.
Even though some things have changed, some of the old problems still remain. On the weekends, Trutwein travels around nearby villages, picking up the children who wait for him there. Many are orphans. He takes them to school, his privately run school. Trutwein, whose Western name comes from his American great-grandfather, doesn't think much of state schooling.
The teachers don't teach in class. They rather want the children to come to the tuition after class. We have to pay. And most of the children cannot pay. So they don't learn in class and they cannot pay for tuition. So education is like wasted time.
Trutwein doesn't work for any international organisation. He's one of the many individuals who provide services to local communities. He made the decision 12 years ago. Before that, he had a well-paid job in the oil industry. When he became infected with HIV and his wife died of AIDS, his life was turned upside down. Today, the children are getting a special lesson. 2 women from Switzerland are staying in Trutwein's guest house. They've agreed to spend some time with the children.
Red and blue.
One of them, Mariana Rus, is a primary school teacher.
2 years old.
Yes.
It's a chance for the youngsters to learn some English.
I like blue.
The school has benefited from the political changes in Myanmar. Until recently, it's only been able to offer the occasional weekend class. Private schools were outlawed under the military regime, but that ban has now been overturned. Now Trudwijn wants to open a proper school with a regular timetable. The building is well underway. It will have enough space for 300 pupils. He's impatient about getting the building work finished.
Now I'm quite happy because I'm sure to get the permission this year to start school in June, so I'm in a hurry to finish the classes. This would provide a better opportunity for my children to have a better education, and I have plans to have some foreign people to help me teach the children.
After the class, I go with Trudwijn, Roos and her friend to the villages. He wants to show us where the children live. 2/3 of the people in Myanmar live in the country, many of them in shacks like this one. For these people, the recent reforms have brought little change. They still face problems like poverty, hunger and a lack of infrastructure.
First I made this part.
Trudwijn shows us the water tanks he's built here so that villagers don't have to walk miles for clean drinking water. He funded the project with money from a private organization in Germany. At one house, the Swiss tourists are invited in for tea. Most locals welcome foreign visitors with open arms, especially when they bring presents. Communities like this one stand to benefit more in the future as Myanmar continues to open up to the rest of the world.